Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to earnings week of our financial health and well-being month for Supersize Your Business. Now, Supersize You annual challenge. Also doing a Supersize Your Business annual challenge this year. But I do this recording first when my voice is the most gravelly and I'm struggling with being alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. Well, today we're talking about knowing your worth. Do you know what the market value of what you bring to the table is, either as an individual or as a business owner? Do you know and have you researched the value of what it is that you do and how you do it? The vast majority of the people do not do this. So if you want a competitive advantage, if you want to actually be paid what you're worth, if you want to actually earn what you're worth in your organization, your company, because of the incredible value you provide to the people that you serve, then you need to do this. So I actually stumbled upon this really early on in my corporate days. I knew that as a person coming out of college with several years of business experience, in addition to going to college, I was more valuable to an organization than all the other people I was graduating with in college. And so when I did graduate, I actually got the highest salary for any woman that year when I graduated from my university. And so that was my big claim to fame back then. Not really, but that I thought that was kind of cool, right? You know, you go to college, get a degree, and you get a job, and you're like, oh my God, and I wasn't one. That was kind of before student loans got to be this huge blown up thing. So I only had, I think, 2 student loans, and I paid those off within the first year of getting out of college. So I didn't have a whole lot of debt. Because I had very awesome parents. Thank you very much. My dad's passed away, but my mom's still here. So knowing your worth, how did that play out for me? Well, so my first job out of college, I knew that. When I came time to leave the first job out of college that I took, because I just had realized it wasn't a fit for me. Great organization, got so much value out of that, learned so much being a part of that organization, but I knew it was time to move on. And my next job, I negotiated myself a $40,000 signing bonus in addition to double my salary in the job that I had been in. And that is when I actually learned to realize that if we really want to grow our career and grow our earnings, we need to be willing to step out of our comfort zone and maybe switch industries. So I took all the skills and things that I had acquired over my life so far, and I looked at those and I said, okay, well, where else would this be of value? And I actually found my job in the newspaper classifieds, which is pretty funny because there's such a low percentage of people that actually get jobs out of the classifieds. But it was a great job. Stayed there 5 years. And it was time to move on again. But learned early on in my career that switching industries is a super cool way to really jump your salary up, as well as to learn about how different industries work in different functions. I started out as an engineer, and really mostly I was in management, team management and leadership in my first organization. Second organization, same thing. Third organization, quality focus. So I went from job to job looking at what skills do I need to run my own successful businesses someday. And I used my earning time at a corporation in corporate America to actually fund my continuing education into what I wanted to do and be and have and create someday. So today, I challenge you, if you have never done this, to do a little research into your role, your skills, and your industry, and determine what they're actually worth. And if you're making 10% or more less than you think you should be making based on your research, I say schedule a meeting with your boss first thing in the morning, or not, schedule it tomorrow, but it doesn't mean you're going to have it tomorrow, but get on the schedule and have that discussion. Take all of the homework and all the research that you found with you and say, hey, listen, I see what's going on. I mean, I understand this. I see what I'm making, but I'm making, 25% less than all of my male counterparts, and I'm doing the exact same job, if not more. I definitely had that discussion with a couple of bosses along the way. So I know it works. It's not always super comfortable because we've been taught to believe that we should never talk about money. We should never ask for what we want. How ridiculous is that? You don't get anything out of life if you don't ask, which is one of the biggest lessons I had to learn growing up, because I think maybe more as women, we're taught to just, sit back, be polite, ask permission, follow the rules. Okay, not really a rule follower here. So today, do that homework, do that research. And you know what? If you are at the top end of your skills and values, be grateful and just keep doing what you're doing. And remember to be continually learning and growing and adding more value by increasing your skills so that they keep you when the layoffs and things inevitably come. So if you're in business or in a career long enough, it's pretty likely that you or someone you know and care about will experience some kind of a layoff. Because the world's changing, right? The world is always changing. This is nothing new. I'm really surprised when I meet somebody nowadays that has worked for the same company for like 20, 30 years. It's definitely rare. I know my dad worked for the same company his whole career, but that's back when that was still a thing. But even when I was going to college, that was changing. Pensions were going away, things like that, and the world was changing. And so we can't expect what happened in the past to happen in the future necessarily. So what are some things to think about while you're doing this exercise? I suggest that we ask ourselves, number one, am I guess, and there's a flip side of this too. If you are not keeping up with the skills and the requirements of the job that you have, why not? There's no guarantees anymore that you'll have a job in the same business for life or that you'll even have a job at all. But the COVID pandemic, what that did, that shook up the entire world with respect to work, how we work, what is and isn't expected. So ask yourself, number one, am I being fairly compensated? And if you're anywhere in the range that you research and find, then you probably are being fairly compensated. The only way you earn more is if you actually add more value and give more, right? We give first and then we receive. Super hard concept for most people. Don't understand it because it's a universal law, right? And we can work with them or we can work against them, but I guarantee working against universal laws will never turn out in your favor. Then ask yourself, what else was this? I want to ask a couple of these questions and then compare yourself to different industries. And like I said, this is how I discovered and actually jumped industries, was when I was job hunting and wondering what should I do next. And it was a very good move for me. It wasn't permanent, but then what is? Ask yourself, am I being compensated fairly? Ask yourself, what is the cost of not negotiating or not speaking up for myself? What is the cost of not letting my manager, leader, whatever they're called in your organization, know that you want more, that you want to contribute more, and you also want to earn more. You want to advance in the organization. Got to ask for what we want, right? We have to know what we want first, and then we have to ask for it. And then what would an extra 10 to 20K mean to you and your life and what you could do with that money? Based on the other day, I would say you invest that money as quickly as possible and build your nest egg and get interest and the time value of money working for you. All right, so what are you going to do today? Answer this question in the comments below. Have you ever negotiated a better salary for yourself or higher prices if it's you building your business? Have you ever raised your prices successfully? Okay, God, I hope that answers yes. All right, any questions about this? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.